Hey, Closeteers. Hey. All right. Just ended my walk. Took my little cool down, sitting down in my little spot. Hopefully we avoid the sprinklers. Okay. So today I will be doing part 2 of staying beyond the expiration date. And if I recall, we left off with me talking about having a heart attack in my mid-30s. At which point I was a full-time wife, a full-time mom, a full-time student, part-time employee with a side hustle. Had a whole lot going on in a relationship that was absolutely in shambles. Good morning. So, yeah, and had just come across a cardiologist that told me part of the reason for my having a heart attack was my marriage. And like I said, he didn't appear to be joking when he said it, but I don't even think he realized how much truth he was telling. Now, please understand, I am very well aware of a lot of things that happen. We take part in allowing them to happen. So I am not giving full blame to anyone. No matter what, I had a hand in it, even if I allowed something to happen. So I don't blame anyone fully. I'm just saying what was going on in my life leading up to my having my first heart attack, because I did have another one. Okay? And then I also began to suffer panic attacks as well. I was traumatized, period. Remember when I talked to you, this is from my point of view. It's my life, things that happen in my life. I'm not a licensed professional. I tell you based on my experience, and I have a firm belief that experience is a good teacher. Okay? So, I don't know who that is. So, I had probably 2 weeks of school left. I spent 9 days in the hospital, and I'm just grateful that I had classmates and professors who cared about me, because my professors basically let me finish class away from campus, and several of my classmates would bring me the assignments and things like that. I had one classmate, I think, who was the same we had 3 teachers or 3 professors together. So she was very instrumental in those 3 classes. So the only thing I had to show back up for school to do was my final exam for a math class that I had. Everything else I was able to do away from the campus, right? So I never really took the time to really heal. There was so much going on, and I had made myself a promise that I would finish school, and then plus I wanted to better myself, to open up opportunities for myself, because at that time, the way finances were handled was shifting. He knew he had the upper hand when it came to finances, and he was flexing that muscle. So I didn't like to be in that position. So I wanted to finish school. I wanted to do everything I could, whatever it took, to better myself, to open myself up for better opportunities. So I never missed a beat. I finished school late May, and I started the university in either late June or early July. Didn't miss a beat. kept going on. Now, when I graduated junior college, I graduated with 2 separate degrees. I did the AA in Arts and Humanities, and I did the AS in Business because originally my major was accounting. I would later change that. So he was there. He was at my graduation. He was in support. But up in that time, during that time, we let our nephew and his wife come live with us. And he is at this time off work due to his injury, his workplace injury. And so he is actively helping with the children. Some days he'd run bath water for me, he'd make dinner, he's doing stuff like that. That do not taste good. Ugh. Anyway, that does not taste good. So our nephew and his wife were having a discussion, and so she worked and our nephew didn't. And so she was pointing out to him, oh, why can't you be like Uncle? I don't want to say his name. I don't know if I said his name or not already, but anyway, she was pointing out, oh, he runs Auntie bath water, he cooks, and why can't you be like him? Why I have to come home and do everything and yada yada yada. And now to me, that was a nod to my then husband. That was like a good thing. She was paying homage to him, and he, from that point forward, it became a struggle to get him to run bath water, to get him to cook. I don't know, I think he took offense to it being said, or he felt it emasculated him or something, because from that point forward, no more. He didn't do those things anymore. And so I brought it to his attention, like, hey, what's up? At this time, he was getting paid from work, right? He was getting workers' comp, so he was still getting paid. But I was bringing up the rear with my part-time job and my side hustle. So I'm just like, I need your help. Excuse me, it got to the point where I was having to come home from work and cook and clean and help with homework. And it was like he was just sitting at home doing nothing. So that just added more stress. Mind me, remember, I just recently suffered a heart attack. So it just added more stress. But in the midst of that, I had been on this list to work a union job in California. Now, originally, when I got on the list, the pay was X amount of dollars. So it was crazy because things had gotten so tight. It got to a point where they had shut off his workers' comp. And so he went to get a lawyer. It got really bad. So their only money was coming in was for me doing my part-time work and my side hustle. And I couldn't keep up with all the bills. So he had taken out a loan on the house. The house was paid for. He had taken out a loan on the house. And we were 4 months behind. And if you know anything about foreclosure, that 120-day mark is when they start sending you the stuff. And by that 160-day mark, they ready, right? So I was getting ready to go to school, and at this time we still had landlines. Well, we still do today, but So the landline rang on my way out the door. So I backed up and answered the phone. And I had gotten on that list probably 6 or 7 years prior. Hadn't heard anything. And it was the union. And she was like, can you go to work today? And the first thing in my mind hit what I knew they paid. And I'm like calculating how that would help. And so I said, yeah, absolutely. I was, such a good student that I can do something like that. So I went on to work, right? And she said, okay, I'll send you the packet and everything. You should get it in the next day or two. I think they want you for 3 days. If they keep you longer, call and let me know. So I went to work. I worked through lunch, and they kept me longer than 3 days. And so it just so happens. See, this is a testimony, so that's why it's hard for me to say it the way I'm saying it, because even though this was over 10 years ago, I know that I still owe God a hallelujah and a praise for what he did, because we were about to be homeless. And when I got that packet, it turns out that from the time I had been placed on the list to the time I had been taken off the list to work, the salary, the pay had doubled. So I was making 2 times what I had calculated to help us get out the hole. So what it took 4 months to do, God fixed in 1 week. In 1 week, he turned it completely around. In 1 week. And I'm still talking about staying beyond the expiration date, because all this took place when I should have been gone. He turned it around. I received pay for working through my lunch, and I stayed longer than 3 days. So my 1 week check took us completely out of the hole. Completely out of the hole. Completely. Okay? Not, oh, I just need one more check from over here, or I need this side, my side hustle to, it completely, right? So, my God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. So, I'm still battling with him though. Working full time, still going to school. No help from him. He's just completely shut down because of something somebody said that should have been taken as a compliment, and he's taking it out of context, or he feels emasculated by it. So there's a problem. Now, from that, I started getting called often to go temp, right? I'm still in school. My part-time employer has decided, who became a mentor of mine, has decided, to adjust my schedule accordingly, which was a beautiful thing, and I'm highly appreciative of this. So, at this point, I'm at the university, and for whatever reason, I had set up all my classes to be nighttime classes, except one class. It was crazy. It was weird. But I had built up such a rapport with this teacher, and this teacher knew the industry as well. And I changed my major at this time to public administration. And so this teacher that one teacher with the one class was very instrumental in my being able to work when I had to work, as long as She let me know, don't fall behind, don't, talk to me, keep me updated, yada, yada, yada. So it became almost regular, me working, right? And so money is flowing. And so now that control, and let me be clear in saying, I cannot say for certainty that he was consciously doing what he was doing financially to keep me. Like, I can't say because I don't know his mind for sure. This is how I feel. So that hold, it was gone, right? He didn't have that leverage, so to speak. So without that leverage anymore, we're on a different playing field. And so he's grasping at ways to control me and ways to make me stay or have to stay, right? And this is after so many times before his being sick saying to me, if you're so unhappy, leave. Oh yeah, that was one of his staples. His favorite lines was to say something like that to me. And I want you guys to know something. I'm not bitter. We do have a friendship right now. We co-parent right now. There's no animosity between us. So this is not coming from a place of bitterness. This is really me hoping that someone comes across this and sees this and does not make the same mistakes that I made, does not stay longer than they should, and does not end up with any regrets, okay? This is the purpose of me doing this. It's not to bash him or anything of the sort, because we are cool right now. We're good. We're in a good place. So it's not about that. But it's my truth. It's what happened. And so after all those times of saying all that, now it becomes he needs me twofold. One, to help him because he is ill, and two, financially, right? So all that talk now about if I'm so unhappy I can leave and all that, all that shut down. That's gone. That's gone. And at the time, I didn't see it, the manipulation of it. I didn't see being used in it. At that time, I didn't see it. They tell you hindsight is 20/20. So now I see that, but I didn't see that then, okay? So, he's still like certain things he's still not doing though. He's still, and at this point, there's no sex, penetration. And any other kind of sex is far and in between, because I really wasn't interested. I wasn't into it. So I'm doing this. I'm going to school. I'm pushing myself. I know I finished the university under the 2-year mark. I think it was by 2 semesters. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to really count it off to know for sure. I'm pretty sure it's 2 semesters though. I'm like 90% sure. So anyway, doing all that. In the midst of that, between that and graduating, I get hired full-time for the union, right? So now college really it's a goal set for me to accomplish. It's no longer a part of me needing better pay. Now it's just me finishing this goal, right? And he had a problem with that. He wanted me to stop going to school because he felt I was pushing myself too much. But, that wasn't so when I was working part-time, being a full-time student, full-time parent, full-time wife, having recently had a heart attack. That wasn't so then, right? But now it's that. And so I'm constantly explaining this is a personal goal for me that I've set. It's something that I want to do, and I'm not going to quit. And so his response to my refusal to do what he wanted me to do was to just really shut down and no longer help me, right? I was totally on my own, and we had one kid still in school, 2 kids in college, and 2 kids in the military. My daughter was in the military and college at the same time. So yeah, so he out of there. He done checked out because he wants me to do something and I won't do it. And I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. Actually, I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to cover 1 year in another video, which was the year that really are the reason why I say I stayed beyond the expiration date. This 1 year, if I chose no other time to leave, that should have been the year that I left, just by all the things that happened. That should have been the year. So I'll cover that year in another video, and maybe I'll just name it that year or that 1 year or something like that. Anyway, so and then I'm in a new job, right? And then I learned in this new job that everybody is not so friendly. People don't like new faces. People don't want to help you. People don't want to train you. So I had my own personal hell going at work. And then I'm coming home to another personal hell. And just by the grace of God, school, I was doing what I had chosen a degree and a path that I was interested in and passionate about. So school was not hard. I wanted to learn the things I was learning. So I was studying with the purpose of learning. So it didn't feel like I was doing too much or it was too hard. It didn't feel like that. So I had relief at school, but no relief at work and no relief at home, right? So it was hard. It was hard, right? And so then now, at this time, we had this big blowout. This big blowout. And I had had enough. It's like, yeah. Finally, I had enough, right? I had left before for a day, for 2 days, for 3 days tops, right? I'd never left for more than 3 days before that. And one of the reasons why was I had children, and I did not have the ability to go live with my mom, to go live with my dad, or somewhere that may have been comfortable for someone to take themselves and 3 kids or themselves and 4 kids, because I left before our son was born and I left after too. And so that would be what would always make me come back, because I didn't have the luxury of finding my own place instantly or anything like that. And I didn't want to be a burden to anybody, and I didn't want anybody to treat my kids wrong. So I would always end up going back. Well, this particular time, the straw that broke the camel's back, the sad part is I don't even remember what the argument, the disagreement was about. But whatever it was, I had came in from work, and I just didn't feel like it. And I had to go to school. And so it just became, you know what? Whatever it was had me come home, because normally I would go straight to school from work. But for whatever reason, I had to. So I'm doing that. And I just stopped arguing. I went to my son's room and I said, pack your shit. We out of here. It's time to go. And I went. And we moved into a hotel to start. And so I really want to end right here just because of the time stamp. I don't want to go too far. I don't want the video to be too long. I know it gets boring. And so we moved, right? And he had his pride for a moment where it was like, you know, whatever, do you? So he had that moment. So that helped too, though. That helped me. That helps me. I'm the type of person, I don't play. If I don't want to be somewhere, I'm going to say I don't want to be there. If I'm not sure, I'm going to say I'm not sure. And if I'm flat out not ready to go, I'm going to say I'm not ready to go. I really, when it comes to relationships, I wear my heart on my sleeve. There's no guesswork with me. If I love you, baby, you gonna know. I love you and I got you, right? Even in anger, you're going to know that I love you and I want to be with you. There's no guesswork. I'm never going to play like because you've done something or said something hurtful, I need to match what you've done or said. So I'm going to say hurtful things like I don't want to be with you anymore or something like that just to match what you said. That's not me. That's not how I roll. But that's him. He's tit for tat. So he decided at this point he wanted to match me. And remember, at this time, I'm aware that he's only keeping me around because he needs help with his health and financially. This nigga don't love me no more, right? He don't love me no more. And I'm aware of that. And so his stepping into his pride and the attitude he took when I was leaving, the things that he said, it was just the icing. It was like, okay, I'm good. Okay, so I thank you guys. I'm gonna end this here. We will do a part 3. I'll end this here. I appreciate you guys taking time just to come on and stop by and watch. I hope that you get something from this. If you know someone, you know, recommend them to the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe. Okay? Take care, guys. Bye.